and 3 to play. And a man who nearly gave up the game because of putting problems until he got the weapon in his hands there. A longer putter, the split-handed putting method that we highlighted earlier in the week. And this has got very, very little swing. But my goodness, can he keep his hands steady enough to take the putter back? On to the 18th, all is not lost. Just got it up the slope, but it's done the job. He's kept it below the hole. It's some 15 feet away. Now Jay Hassel, that bunker shot at 16, he had a bit of a let-off with Walton's missed putt at 17. He's going to have to produce something pretty special here. And all the prep.
Little chip and run is going like a bullet. Neither line nor length. He's got a very tricky putt coming back down. But now 2 putts from Philip Walton is all that is required for Europe to win the Ryder Cup.
Top left-hand corner of your screen, the way things stand. 14.5 is the magical number. What a performance from Faldo at 18, but you can't really single out any one of these players. Montgomery closed his match out with 4 threes. He's cozied it up to the whole side, and I think that's going to be good enough. And for Bernard Gallagher, it's 3rd time lucky here at Oak Hill. And the Ryder Cup will be on Concord tonight. It's on its way back to Europe. Ken Schofield and Nick Faldo, and look at the joy on the faces, and he'll know very shortly what's happened. Somebody will be there to tell him, all the wives and the caddies and the players, and look at the emotion in these pictures. Roca and Ballesteros, the Latin connection. There was tears in 1985 from Sam Torrance. There's more again here, 10 years on. How much he wanted to win that. We spoke to him every month in our countdown to the Ryder Cup. As the tension grew, he was under immense pressure coming here to Rochester. And he put out a very brave side, I have to say, in the singles. Savvy out in the first match, and the 2 rookies, Per Ulrich Johansson and the man who eventually won the Cup, Ireland's Philip Walton, and Irish eyes will be smiling tonight.
Emotional scenes at the Oak Hill Country Club in upstate New York. Europe beat the Americans to win back the Ryder Cup. They last won in 1989. It was down to the rookie Philip Walton to make the winning putt on the 18th green and give the Europeans an unbeatable 14.5 points. This is how the scoring went. First out was Seve Ballesteros. He lost to Tom Lehman, but Howard Clark and Mark James won. Ian Woosnam halved with Fred Couples. Constantino Rocca lost his singles match with Davis Love, but David Guilford won his. And then there were wins for Colin Montgomery, Nick Faldo and Sam Torrance. Bernard Langer lost, but by that time it meant that victory for Walton would be enough. So it finished 14.5 to 13.5 points in one of the best Ryder Cups for years.
It was a day when the Europeans obviously weren't relying on the putter to get down, as Mark James took the early advantage over Jeff Maggott. It was an advantage he held to secure the Europeans' first point in the singles.
You can see what that means to him.
After his disappointments in the earlier foursomes, Howard Clark began once again to produce his best. He left himself a tricky short putt to win by a single hole over Peter Jacobsen. The tension was almost too much to bear. The relief for both he and his wife was obvious. The Europeans took the fight to the Americans. Sam Torrance's aggressive play was typical of their battle to claw back the deficit. It was all square at 12.5 points each, as Faldo played up to the final hole. He had never been ahead against Curtis Strange, and suddenly he found himself putting for a vital point.
Our hearts go out to Nick Faldo.
His unlikely victory put Europe on the verge of triumph. It was a moment of emotion for both Faldo and his teammates, as they could perhaps sense they were close to making history. That left Ryder Cup rookie Philip Walton 2 up with 2 to play against Jay Haas, and after a wayward tee shot he made a brilliant recovery on the 17th. It left him with a simple putt for a European win over the United States, but the daunting responsibility just got the better of him. But the Irishman got his second chance at the 18th. Having 2 putts to get it down, he needed to get it close, and he did. To regain the Ryder Cup for Europe, only the second time they have won in the United States, it prompted ecstatic celebrations to mark a historic European victory, making it 3rd time lucky for captain Bernard Gallagher. Richard Johnson, Sky News.
Well, so jubilant scenes there immediately after, and smiles all round when Europe's captain finally got his hands on the trophy. It was presented to Bernard Gallagher in front of a packed gallery during the official ceremony to mark the end of this, the 31st Ryder Cup.
I think in the first instance I would have to congratulate my magnificent team here this afternoon that played wonderful golf and won this trophy back in America. This has been a terrific achievement. I'd like to thank Lanny Watkins for being the best American captain of all time. I'd like to say, and I'd really like to say that if anyone was going to lose it, I didn't really want Lanny to lose it. And I really mean that. I'd like to say Lanny contributed to the success and the sportsmanship that's been exampled here this week. Our supporters have been magnificent, but American supporters have been absolutely tremendous. They've appreciated golf through